This will be a opening presentation, and it will be, I hope, a clear, although essential, view of CLIOH-WORLD. Because time is little, details much, but we will try to look at the most important things. The title, Creating Links and Innovative Overviews for History in Europe and the World, is part of our CLIO rhetoric, shall we say, but it happens to correspond to substance, we believe. That is, that through creating links and overviews of a new kind, we are actually moving the history agenda ahead, and we are trying to create tools to do so. The CLIOH-WORLD project is a 3-year project. It officially started the 1st of October 2008. It happens that we didn't have a contract yet then, as things with the European Commission go, so don't be surprised if it took it a while to actually start. We planned that because we knew it might happen from past experience. It will run until the 30th of September 2011, according to the proposal that we presented, and which was the most highly evaluated one of that round of selection for such networks. These are the things, the points that I will touch on in this brief time. I want to say something, first of all, about the new network, the one in which we are all involved now, about its aims, its organization, the methods that we will follow, and then to mention, because this is a very, very important part of both where we came from and where we hope to go, the synergies with other networks. CLIOH-WORLD is an Erasmus academic network. This is a strange new animal, but it corresponds quite closely to the thematic networks, which we once were. But we have another name now because thematic networks didn't seem to sound good anymore. So in the lifelong learning program, such things are called academic networks. Our network is supported morally and financially by the European Commission through the Directorate General for Education and Culture under the lifelong learning program, which, as you certainly know, replaces the Socrates program and several others, insofar as it aims at having under one umbrella all projects having to do with learning from the cradle to the grave, and this includes everything. The university part is still called Erasmus, so that gives us some continuity. Our network has 60 partners, and they come from 29 countries. These are European Union countries, EFTA countries, and Turkey. We also have 9 official associate partners, and we have a lot of unofficial associate partners too. In any case, amongst our official associate partners, we have partners from 7 countries. These include Russia, the Russian Federation, Japan, and several southeastern European countries with which we have been able to build up links in other projects as well. We also are very happy to have an ever stronger link with ISHA, the International Students of History Association, which is, they are not official partners because they are still established in Switzerland, which is not eligible for such. But we hope to get them moved to the EU sooner or later. Anyway, what are the aims of our network? They are to build on and to enhance the work of previous networks. So we are not starting from scratch. We do have a history, and as looking toward the present and the future, we want to build on that history, placing European history and the many histories of pieces of Europe, if we can put it that way, in a broader world context. And this, in part, is to respond to needs that we have seen exist through our experience, our work together in the past. And also because we are part of a larger process in which it's clear that Europe, the meaning of Europe, what it is changing, the perception of it is changing, and it is dependent and related to things that happen, that exist, that happened long ago or recently in other parts of the world. So this is really a growing of CLIO into a new situation, which is new because we know more and also because we can see more of what's happening and what we need to do. The organization is already fairly clear to you because it has faces on it already. There is a coordinator, there are two co-coordinators, and this is supposed to make it possible for the network to function efficiently, even if I should decide to wander off somewhere and contemplate history. And we have a coordinating committee, as you've seen. We have working groups, we have 5 of them. We have the project assistant, who is Laura Burgisano, somewhere, perhaps in the room or perhaps outside. Yes, very important part of our network. We have a financial assistant, and we have a webmaster and graphics expert who is responsible for all these covers, posters, postcards, and things you have seen in the little bag that was given to you. The goals of CLIOH-WORLD, well, you will look at them more carefully in the first session of the working groups this afternoon, but basically we can try to sum it all up this way. It's creating new knowledge and understanding, tools and materials, because we always translate. We want to translate, we must translate our new knowledge and understanding into something that's of use, useful for our own universities and also for other universities in order to enhance the quality of history learning, teaching, and research. We put learning first because we have made this paradigm shift to student-centered, learner-centered now, and education. And we do include research, even though in an academic network, research is theoretically sort of on the outside, but we know that teaching and research always must go hand in hand. And when we speak of quality, we speak of quality in a very general way, not as some sort of a signature of a quality assurance agency, but as the struggle to make what our universities offer and do the most useful possible to students, citizens, and society. There are 2 main directions in which CLIOH-WORLD is developing. These are, on the one hand, to improve the provision, which we have found is very spotty with a lot of black holes, the provision of history of European integration and specifically of the Union itself. Because as was so eloquently stated in the opening welcome, it's evident that not only our students, but also most of our professors and nearly all of our citizens have only vague, very vague ideas of what Europe, even in its institutional form and how it got that way, is. So we think this is an important challenge for us to bring the tools of history to the knowledge of the European Union, European integration, and to promote across the board greater work in this area. The other main strand is to achieve a better understanding of the relationships between Europe, its history, and the rest of the world. And this means, of course, as was mentioned, colonization, decolonization, but it also means other things, such as would there be a European Union if it had not been born in a world made in a new way? And I think not. I think we have to see where we live as part of a broader picture in which Europe is not by itself. These are the titles of the working groups. We already mentioned them rapidly. All of you had the chance of choosing which one you wanted to be in, and we even accepted your first choice, so you know what the working groups are about. We will be having 5 plenary conferences and working meetings because the formula is always this combination. The first one, as we know, in Salzburg. The other 4 are planned, and it's possible they might change. But anyway, Bochum, Pisa, Oulu, and Lisbon. We will be deciding on the date for the Bochum meeting tomorrow afternoon. This is our logo. It's sort of self-explanatory in a way, because there is the world, at least that's what it purports to be, the planet Earth, and in front of it our muse, the special Clio with the H. And she's also rather special because she's holding in her arms our book on citizenship. And we actually now have a new version, which was just made with our book on discrimination and tolerance. But here, citizenship, which I still think is very, very useful. I think most of you know that this is a special muse because she comes from a depiction by Vermeer in a painting, famous painting in Vienna, which purports to be an allegory of painting, but actually we find out that what's being painted is, guess what? The muse of history, Clio. And she has her eyes lowered, but we have decided to have a Clio with her eyes open. So that's our Clio that's trying to look ahead in a serious way. We haven't been able to manipulate the smile yet, but at least she's looking out from under those lowered eyelids. This is the DNA of Clio.